Our interview today is with David Dewberry, who was born in Dallas, Texas, 30 August 1951. He served in the United States Army from September of 1970 through 1976. His highest rank attained was Sergeant E5. This interview is conducted at Burleson, Texas on Thursday, April the 21st, 2016. My name is Dale Dexheimer. I'm not related to David in any way. Also in the room we have Cindy Dewhurst, David's wife, and we also have Milton Gibson, who is our videographer. This interview is conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress and also for Operation Remember, City of Burleson, Texas. And with that little introduction, David, you can tell us about your time in the U.S. military, sir.
Well, I started in Dallas, Texas, and went in Dallas, was inducted. Actually, in Arlington, we went to Dallas that night. Anyway, stayed over there a couple of days, and then we shipped off to Fort Ord, California, which I don't think I'd ever left the state at that time, really, hardly. That's the first time I'd ever been on an airplane, for sure. And that was quite an experience, being on an airplane for the very first time. And started seeing lots of lights in San Francisco, and it seemed like we saw lights forever because it was such a big city. And then we finally landed, and boy, that's when it really hit, when the drill sergeants arrived with their buses and hauled us in there like cattle, took us to Fort Ord. The best thing I remember about that night was the coldest milk I'd ever drank in my life. That was we were all starving to death, and we got to eat as much as we wanted. We had ham and corn and milk. It was the coldest milk I'd ever had in my life. It was really good. And then, we went to basic after that. Stayed there at the reception station for a couple of days, and started main thing we did was just, you just process in, and then we all got the privilege of pulling KP all day long, a couple of days, and that was the worst days of my life. I hated that. They really work you to death when you're doing KP, when you're E-nothing. So they really take advantage of you. So then we went to basic, and Fort Ord, California is really a beautiful place. I mean, it was really nice. The ranges right there on the beaches and stuff, and it's really the weather was beautiful. It's cold at night. The only thing that really was bad was the fact that spinal meningitis ran amok out there, really, really bad. So you had to really you had to sleep with the windows open at night so the air would circulate through there so you didn't get spinal meningitis. So that was the one thing we was really all scared of. But other than that, it was a good experience. I learned a lot. When you're in basic, you learn how to fight, you learn how to drill, and you learn discipline. And so then after basic, I was a 72F20, which is a digital subscriber terminal equipment operator. So we went to Fort Gordon, Georgia for school, and went there for 8 weeks of school. And Fort Gordon, Georgia is about like it is here in Texas. The weather's just like here. It's really nice. The one thing I regret is I didn't get to go to the Masters while I was out there. I really wanted to go to the Masters because a lot of the military guys got to work the Masters as volunteers, and I really wanted to do that, but I shipped out to to Fort. From there, I left and went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, which was hellhole of Arizona, I think. It's just a barren land, but it's Stratcom headquarters, so that's what we were under, was Stratcom, Strategic Air, whatever, and stayed out there. And it was so barren out there that a prisoner that would leave, try to escape, they'd just let him wander around the post because he wouldn't go anywhere because it was just a vast desert. so they didn't last long.